Hey YouTube, today's subject is a power line right-of-way mistake that I made several years ago that I paid the price for recently. See these, and hopefully by telling you this may avoid you running into the same kind of an issue. See these pretty Leyland cypress trees back here? Several years ago I planted those, and I also planted them here on the front of the property along the road. And now they look like this. See this right here? Cut off, cut off, cut off, and so on. I have a couple of little smaller plants, but they cut down all of the big ones. And what I did before I planted these is I went to the county engineer, and if you look at this road over here, I asked him to give me a footage that I had to stay off the road in order to plant something, and they said from the center line of this road over here to where I planted these trees needed to be 40 feet. So I gave it a couple of extra feet and planted the trees, and what I found out was that put an ID in. What I found out was that the county engineer couldn't speak for the power company, or didn't speak, or didn't allow for it. And so if you look up here, what I've got are these power lines, and these power lines require that from that center line of that pole to the center line of these trees be 25 feet. It's got to be 25 feet on each side. So if you measure from the center line of that pole to where they cut these trees off, it's about 18 feet. So I came home one day and I saw a truck sitting in my driveway, and this truck had a bunch of folks in it with chainsaws and equipment, and they said they're cutting all my trees down. Now these are ornamental trees that I bought, spent a lot of money for, nurtured, took care of, watered, and all that kind of stuff. And so I wasn't a happy camper with that, because I tried to do the right thing. I tried to talk to the right people, but I found out that I made a mistake. And now subsequent to all this, I called the power company supervisor out here, and we went through this discussion, and they just did a very, very poor job of working with me on this. But we went through the discussion, and I said, well, what happens if I want to put a fence in here? And basically he said, you can put a fence in there. I said, well, what guarantee do I have that after you leave this job that you're in, that you won't come in and say that I have to take the fence down in order to provide the 25-foot right-of-way? So we went back and forth on this discussion, and there was no clear answer on it. So here's what my recommendation is to you. If you've got a right-of-way issue that involves a power company, and you want to try and avoid the kind of stuff that I went through, kind of pin them down on it, get them out, tell them exactly what you want to do, and try to get in writing the fact that you want to put a fence up or you want to do something in this right-of-way zone, and make sure that everything is clear before you move forward with it. The supervisor that came out reluctantly told me that they would probably be willing to put it in writing if I put a fence in, that it was okay to do it as long as they could get access to the poles and to the right-of-way. So that would be my recommendation. Now, one other last point here is, you notice these guy wires that are coming down from this pole. There's some guy wires coming down. And these guy wires, guess what? The power company did not live up to the right-of-way issue. Their guy wire to the furthest to the left is several feet over on my property. So I'm technically in the complete right to have them move it and to reposition this pole and re-support it. Not willing to go that far with it after talking to the supervisor, because he was a pretty nice guy. If it was the other fellow from the power company that initially came out here and told me that I had to take out all these trees and I didn't have any options or choice or anything, and sprung it on me, then I would have probably told him to go ahead and move it. But at any rate, be careful so that you don't get caught in this kind of a situation, and protect yourself, okay? So this is Old Guy Doing Things. I hope this may have been of some value to you. Have a good day.